Thanks for watching, and I'm glad you're joining me today because today's topic is really important. And as you probably know, it's Agent Month here at Acting Resource Guru. I can't believe it's already April 20th. It's crazy. But the whole month we've been sharing content related to agents, how to build your target list, how to get referrals and find an agent, how to get a meeting with an agent, kind of what process to take, particularly with our pro Acting Resource Guru members. And today I'm going to take it a step further and talk about how to prepare for an agent meeting once you have one. So this is kind of the all-important time. Agent meetings are really happening between now and I would say Memorial Day is the optimal time to get a meeting with an agent, because agents are clearing their rosters after pilot season and getting ready for a strong episodic season. And so this is really the time for you to be taking all of your actions that you need to take to get the representative of your dreams, whether that's an agent or a manager, and really start that relationship off with them in the right way. Let me have a sip of my tea. Today's tea, because as you know, this is coffee with Asia Ray, but I don't actually drink coffee. So it's an organic white rose tea and it's delicious. So yeah, that's what we've been doing this month in Agent Month. And today I want to really break down the 5 things that you need to prepare before an agent meeting so that you can go in and completely dazzle them and sign with them if you'd like to. That's really the key. Agent meetings are not only for agents to find out whether they want to sign you, but for you to find out whether you want to sign with your agent, and we're going to talk about that today. But before I dive in, I also want to share with you another resource. If you want to take this conversation a step further and hear from actual agents, what they look for when signing a client, then I want you to check out my Agent Action Guide. This is the piece of content, I'll be honest with you, from Acting Resource Guru that I'm really most proud of. I interviewed 2 Los Angeles agents, one theatrical and one commercial, and really got from them the most important things that they look for when they're looking for actors, how to have a successful meeting with an agent, and then also what to do once you sign with an agent to become their top client. So all of that is in the guide, all of the interviews, as well as takeaways that I wasn't able to include in the interviews just for the sake of time, as well as action lists that will show you step by step what to do as you embark on this agent search. And so you can get this at actingresourceguru.com/about-agent-guide. Read all about it, buy it if you'd like. But just check it out. And since April is Agent Month, during the month of April, I'm also giving you a free bonus, which is my workshop and showcase cheat sheet. It's basically 6 tasks that you need to do before you go to an agent workshop. And I know a lot of you use agent workshops and showcases to meet agents. These are great, especially if you don't have referrals, if you don't have friends or casting directors or producers who can recommend you to agents, then showcases are a really good option for you. And I don't want you to go to showcases without this cheat sheet, because in my opinion, if you don't do the things that are on it before the showcase, then you're just kind of wasting your time. So when you get a copy of the agent guide, I will give you that free bonus as well as a thank you for engaging during Agent Month with Acting Resource Guru, because I love all of the energy and all the questions and all of the interaction that we've had with our community during this month. It's been awesome. So again, visit actingresourceguru.com/about-agent-guide and snag your copy. Okay, now let's dive into the content. So also, I have another gift for those of you who are either up with me at 7 a.m. on the West Coast or 10 a.m. on the East Coast watching this video, or for those of you who are watching the replay. I want to give you my personal list of 20 awesome questions to ask an agent or a manager in a meeting, because I think that's really going to help you. And that's the last thing that we're going to talk about, how to prepare your questions. So I'll give you the URL to download that. later in this video. Okay, so how to prepare for an agent meeting. There are 5 things that I want you to do or to prepare. I'll go through them all, and then we'll break them down one by one. So step 1, you're going to prepare your materials. Step 2, you're going to prepare your history. And we'll talk about what that means. Step 3, you're going to prepare your goals. So this is all about your future. Step 4, you're going to prepare your fan list. We'll talk about what that is. And then step 5, you're going to prepare your questions. And I'm going to help you with that a lot. So let's talk about step 1. And by the way, if you have any questions during this, I love to answer them. So please type them in the comments, whether you're watching this live or watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, I can't guarantee that I'll have time to go back and answer all the questions, but I'll do my best. So step 1, prepare your materials. So what do you need for an agent meeting? In the agent guide, one of the agents that I interviewed had a slightly different question, had a slightly different answer, because he's like, I've already seen your materials. And there is one thing that he wanted you to bring to the meeting. But the thing that I think is most important is that you have a folder with the hard copy materials that you would bring to an audition. So any headshots that you're currently using for an audition, as well as your resume stapled on the back as they would be for an audition, are important to bring. If you are an actor who has been doing a lot of marketing for your career, you can bring the postcards that you've been using. If you have a one sheet, you can bring that. If you have a castability sheet, these are all tools that actors in my Get It Done groups use. And when you come with a folder of these materials, press releases, articles, reviews from plays, it shows that you have already been doing the work to build your career and that you are really joining hands with your potential representative as a team member. You're not expecting them to do all the work to get you traction in this business, and that's important to an agent for sure. So make sure that your presentation packet, I call it, has evidence of all the things that you've been doing to build your career, but most important is going to be your headshot and your resume. Okay, whatever headshot you're using when you go to a physical audition. So the next piece is important, and I think this can be a little bit tough for a lot of us, and that is to prepare your history. You really want to have an answer to the question, so tell me about yourself. And a lot of that can involve a bit of personal tidbits. You can tell the agent where you're from, why you decided to become an actor, and a little bit about your history in the business or at school, or whatever the context is that you want to share. Good morning, Danielle. It's good to see you. Be a person during this. Don't just spout off a list of credits. They can see that on your resume. But figure out what really makes you a unique person. What do your friends love about you? And talk about that. You can talk about hobbies. You can talk about, if you love independent film, you can talk about where that love came from. If you have worked with a particular casting director a lot, you can talk about how you developed that relationship. So really just prepare a story, a brief story, that highlights some of your work history, but also gives them an idea of who you are as a person. Because I think that is where you will connect with your potential rep. And that is how the magic will happen in terms of your relationship. How you'll really have a genuine, authentic connection and conversation during the meeting. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions about either prepping your materials or prepping your history. Danielle, thank you so much for your kind words about the commercial, and I'm glad you liked the movie. Yeah. Hey, Catherine. The Get It Done group members are here in full force. I love it. Hey, guys. So good to see you. Okay, so step 3. The third thing that you need to prepare for an agent meeting is your goals. So we've talked about your materials, we talked about your history, and now we need to make sure that you share with your agent how you want to move forward, because your relationship is going to be about the future and about what you're going to accomplish together. And so you want to make it clear to your agent that you are thoughtful about how you want your career to progress. So I would recommend having an idea of what your 6-month goals and perhaps your 1-year goals are. So for this time period, you would want to be clear on, excuse me, what you want to accomplish during episodic season, right? So before the end of this year, what credits do you want to add to your resume? And what are you doing to make that happen on your own currently? Maybe you're a member of a marketing group, like the Get It Done group, or maybe you are a member of networking organizations, or perhaps you attend casting director workshops, or whatever you do. Make sure that you are sharing your goals. An example of a goal would be, in the next 6 months, I want to book 2 co-stars on network TV, and so I'm building relationships with those casting directors. Here's the list of casting directors that I'm building relationships with. That is a very strong statement to make to an agent or a manager. That shows that you are knowledgeable about how relationships are important in this industry, and that you are doing your part to make them happen. Okay, so share your goals. My final tip around goals is that you really want to make sure you're using SMART goals, and I've talked about that with my coaching group members, but you want to make sure that your goals are specific, that, and it's not just like, oh yeah, I want to be on TV, or my goal is to do film. There are so many different types of television and film, and the specificity will help you be really clear on who you need to build relationships with to do that. So just make sure that you are clear. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to your career, and then also time bound. So make sure you have a framework, a time horizon that you want to accomplish your goals in as well. Okay. So for those of you who are just joining me, we're talking about how to prepare for an agent meeting. And we've talked about preparing your materials, preparing your history, and preparing your goals. The 4th thing that I want you to prepare is your list of fans. So this is, I would say, probably the most impressive thing that you can have with you when you walk into a meeting with a representative. And that is a list of people who you've worked with, or who you've built relationships with, who know your name and that they can pitch you to or reach out to, and they will know you and just kind of vouch for you and think you're great. Why do agents love to have this? Because their job is to sell you. And if they know there are people out there in the business who already think you're amazing, they know that it's going to be easier to sell you for jobs. They know that you're doing the work in advance of jobs being available to be a marketable actor. So when I went in for my list, or for my meeting with my representative, for example, I had a 1-page list of casting directors, and producers who I had either worked with in the past or had been building relationships with long enough that I would go into a casting director workshop and they would say, "Hey, Asia Ray, you don't need to take this workshop anymore. I know you. How are you?" That I could feel comfortable that they knew me. Or maybe casting directors who called me in all the time. And I might not have booked with them yet, but I know they're fans of mine because they call me in all the time, right? So figure out who these people are for you. If your list is short right now, that's totally fine. Still have it in your mind and be prepared to talk about it with your agent. Because I'll tell you, if they know that you are building this list, then you're going to be a cut above other people that they're meeting with. Because most people won't go into a meeting with this list. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. So, materials, history, goals, fan list. The fifth thing that you're going to do is prepare your list of questions. Yay. So, what questions do you need to ask? Maybe it's easier for me to tell you what questions you should not be asking, and that is, what are you looking for, or how you phrase it? What kinds of actors are you signing right now? Do I conflict with any actors on your roster? All those are questions that are not that helpful, and you should have already looked at an agent's roster before going in. You can research the agent on IMDb Pro and see who is on their roster, at least publicly, who is on their roster. So that's not a helpful question. But I do have a gift for you. 20 questions that I think are great to ask an agent or manager in a meeting. And you can download that list at actingresourceguru.com/agent questions. Again, that's actingresourceguru.com/agent questions. Super easy. So go there, download that list of 20 questions, and that will give you a good idea also of what questions to ask to get to know your agent better. Because during this step, you are really gathering intel to decide whether this is a person that you want to work with. You are really figuring out what their outlook is on the business. I'll tell you, if I'm in a meeting with a rep and I ask them one of my awesome questions, this is one of my favorites. What do your most successful clients do that make them successful and differentiate them from other actors in the business who may not be as successful? I want to know an agent's answer to that question because I want to know what their outlook is and what they think actors can do to be successful. If an agent says something like, oh, this business is all about luck and it's just kind of being in the right place at the right time, and then I'm going to know that's not really the agent for me, because I think that there is a little bit of magic that goes into success in this business, but mostly it's about being ready for opportunities. It's about being well-trained and building the relationships that you need to have the collaborations that you need to have in the business and keep moving forward. The tenacity, the persistence, the mindset, all those things, in my opinion, are what make successful actors successful. So if my agent thinks that it's just about luck, then we're probably not going to be on the same page, right? So these questions, this and the other 19 questions that I give you, are really going to go a long way toward making sure that you two have the same outlook on the business and that you will be good team players. It also helps you determine whether you communicate in the same way, whether you're going to want to have the same level of communication. Maybe you want to hear from your agent at least once a week and they only want to hear from you when you have an audition. So you just want to make sure that you're on the same page, because this is going to be one of the most important relationships that you have as an actor. And you want to make sure that you're going into it with the same set of expectations. So download my list at actingresourceguru.com/agent questions and enjoy.